Hey, welcome to the CST Review Problems Worked Out Solutions review. We're first going to look at number one, if the values of the expression are plotted on a number line, which expression would be closest to 3? The first thing we're going to do is evaluate each of these absolute values. If we evaluate those absolute values, the definition of an absolute value is taking the number on the number line and it's the distance to 0. So we're not dealing with positives or negative values. We are just dealing with units. So 1 is 1 unit away from 0, so the absolute value of 1 is 1. Negative 4 is 4 units away from 0. So we get 4 as our answer. And another way you can look at it is you can just circle the number inside, drop the positive or negative, and take it out. That's another way. So the absolute value of 5 is 5, and the absolute value of negative 1 is 1. So we're trying to find which one of these numbers is closest to 3, and our answer is B, because 4 is only 1 unit away from 3. If we look at the second problem, we have what is the multiplicative inverse of 14? Well, 14 is a whole number, and to do the multiplicative inverse, we need to turn that into a ratio, which we can rewrite as 14 over 1. To do the multiplicative inverse, we flip that ratio and make it 1 over 14. So our answer is C, 1/14. We look at our next problem, 3. So which two integers does 449 lie? Well, we're taking the square root, but all of our answer choices is already simplified as the square roots. So we can actually work this problem backwards. And that means we would end up squaring our answers and comparing it to the number inside the square root. So if we look at A, 7 squared is 49, and 11 squared is 121. Those numbers are too small for 449. So we're going to cross out A. That's not one of our choices. If we look through and we look at D, yes, 448 and 450 is close to 449, but we're looking for the square root of those. If we're squaring all of our answers, those are going to be way too big. So D is not an answer choice. So we're left with B and C. If we square 20, we should get 400. And if we square 21, we get 441. And 449 does not fall in between those, so B does not work. So our obvious answer is C, but to double check, we would square 21, which is 441, and square 22, which is 484. And we find that 449 is greater than 441, and it is less than 484. So that is how we managed to get C as our answer. Moving down to congruency for our topic number 4, we're given a right triangle. And we have 2 angles in our triangle, but we have one piece that's kind of missing. We're missing our third angle. We need that information to help us compare to our other answer choices. So if we do the sum of all the angles inside the triangle, that would equal 180 degrees. And we want to find what that unknown angle is. So we're going to add up. We've got a right angle, which is 90 degrees. And then we have 40 degrees for our inside angle there. And then we have we're trying to find our x angle that we don't know. If we add up 90 plus 40, we get 130. And the additive inverse of 130 is negative 130. So we're going to subtract 130 from both sides to make x by itself. So our inside angle, our x angle is going to be 50 degrees. So we're going to change that inside angle to 50 degrees. Now we have enough information to compare our answer choices. So if we look at our leg length, we're given 7 inches, and that falls along the leg that is touching the 90-degree angle and the 40-degree angle. It is across from the 50-degree angle. So we're going to look at which one has 7 inches touching a 90-degree angle or 40-degree angle and is across from the 50. Thank you. We're given 50 on this one, and we have 40 is our missing angle on that one. All the other ones, if you look at A, B, C, and D, they are all, B, C, and D are all alike. Because it has the 7 inches touching the 50, and that's not what we want. We want to find the one that's touching both the 40 and the 90. And that answer is A.